Hi, hello, hello. How are you all? Hi. Hi, girls. How you doing? Nice to see you again. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, how are you all? Have you had a wonderful week on this wintry sort of Friday? And has life been treating you well? I hope it has. Right. Sorry, I'm just trying to get that down a little bit, and it's not playing ball with me. But thank you so much for your lovely comment. Do say hi, everybody. It's wonderful when we get your comments and we are able to have you come in to the actual stream. So with no further ado, we're going to be looking at the Magician tonight, the Magician Tarot card. And the Magician Tarot card, well, lots and lots. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. The Magician Tarot card, part of the Major Arcana, and we are going through that whole series of the Magician. So we are going to be looking at some of the depth that goes on with that card. And if you are used to reading tarot, then welcome, welcome. And if you are brand new to tarot and you would like to be able to sort of learn a little bit more about tarot cards, this is the place to be. So stick with me. I am going to be giving you a couple of treats tonight. We are, of course, dealing with the Magician card, but then we have a guest coming on, the lovely Zoe. And the third one, well, you'll need to stay watching to actually find out what that one's all about. So stay till the end and see what we've got in store for you. So let's just have a look at our Magician and then we'll get started, just allowing a few people to join us. So here he is, the Magician, and you saw him there. Looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at that pose. If anyone can tell me if the sound is all right, I'd really appreciate it. And do please say hi. We've got people joining us right now. Say hello, send a message. Feel free to actually ask questions, interact as much as you want to. I especially when Zoe's joining me, which will be in about 20 minutes time or something like that. Hopefully she will make it. If you want to be part of having some help on this show, you're very welcome to interact. And you can do that. I'll be placing the link on the screen a little further down the line. So what does that mean? It means you can come on and you can ask questions and I can help you figure things out. You can ask or you can just type. And somebody's just told me that the sound is okay. Thanks, Anthony. Really appreciate that. Right, so with no further ado, let's look at the Magician. Well, the Magician works with the astrological sign and in association with the planet Mercury. Okay, so we have the planet Mercury here. So the Magician is really all about how you think and how you speak and how your mind is working. All right, it's your thoughts, it's your intentions, and it's your communication. It's also about how you view reality. And this is a card of achievement, goals, manifestation. It's about achieving your goals, and we'll talk about that in a minute and why that is, okay? It's a genius card. So it doesn't mean, hey, I don't have to do anything. We're going to talk about how that all works and how somebody, if they drew the Magician, would be able to actually know what that advice was coming from the cards, okay? It's definitely a spark of brilliance, and it is a burst of inspiration. So it's a card that has a burst of energy that sort of symbolizes something actual, and that you are capable of actualizing things, but maybe it's all about achieving the balance and the harmony of those tools that are on the Magician's table. Okay, so we've all had an experience, I'm sure, where we've discovered something quite marvelous, only to sort of think, well, hang on a minute. You wake up the next day and you realize that maybe it's not such a good idea after all. Why is that? Okay, it's because of the components and the tools on the table. And we can see our magician standing there with the cup, the pentacle, the sword, and the wand on the table. Now notice he's also holding what looks like, and there's a lot of different sort of schools of thought on this one, but I think it's a crystal wand. That's what I was always taught. That seems consistent with any sort of findings that I've had in books and in classes over the years. My goodness me. Some people think it's a candle, but whatever, okay? Let's stick with the fact that we believe it's a double-tipped crystal wand. Now, the pose is also very important because we can tell that he is confident, he has charisma, and that he is able to manifest things because that pose is upright and it is commanding, okay? And above his head, we have the symbol of infinity. And on the table, we have those 4 elements. And then we have the wonderful colour yellow behind him. And then we've got these lovely flowers that are kind of hanging above and framing the top of the magician's pose. And underneath the table, we can see some white lilies and all of those things. So, the colours, okay. His red cloak. What that is all about is about his passion, and it's about his confidence, it's about his energy and his drive and his determination, okay? And the white tunic underneath the red cloak is a symbol of his pure intentions. The infinity symbol is quite simply one of those things where we are being shown over and over again that what goes round comes round, and that something good will actually come. And it's a symbol of protection, okay? It's like that figure 8 that you can see above his head, that, eternal life, the cycle of life beginning to end, and so it repeats again and again and again. And if we look at very closely there, you can see it's got a belt. Well, that belt is actually a snake, and it's known as the Ouroboros, okay? And what that means, quite simply, is it's a snake that appears to be swallowing its own tail. Now, that is symbolic, quite simply, again, of the endless cycle of life. And how we have death, we have the energy, and then we have rebirth. So that things, basically transformation. So he is able to magically bring down with that crystal wand to be able to conduct the energy from heaven to earth, okay? And he's pointing down with the other hand, saying, I bring this down from heaven down to earth, okay? And the crystal wand is supposed to be magical in the sense if it's very pure, it balances him, but it's also a symbol of him manifesting that actual intention. Now, the objects on the table, okay, well, let's start with the sword. That's all about the thought process. So it's having that intelligence, it's having that mental agility, it's being able to be in a position to have clear thinking of judgment, your thoughts, your ideas, and your communication, maybe languages, maybe the written word, but it's about that balance, okay? The cups represent the emotional fulfillment, our creativity, and all things considered that are beautiful, which will always allow us to have our imagination be sparked on into something where everything starts with a thought, then it becomes how do we feel about it, our creative imagination, our connection with that. And then if we like what we're thinking and we go, yes, this is how I'm responding to it in an emotionally good way, we then have the other element which is on the table, which is the wand, which is all about action. I'm sorry, I'm being a little distracted because my camera seems to be really sort of flickering a little bit. I do apologise if this is coming up. There's nothing I can really do to stop it on the stream. So my apologies. I'm sure everything will actually sort of sync out. I hope that you can follow what I'm saying. So the wand with the action, that's the energy, that's the drive, that's the force, that's making sure that we do something. We actually make it happen. It's not going to happen by just thinking. It's not just going to happen because we feel passionately about it, whether it's a positive or a negative. We have to do something. We have to do something if we like something. Equally, we have to take action if we don't like something. You know, we have to make sure that we are in a place to do it. We can't just think it or feel it, okay? And so then we have the element, and the pentacle is representing Earth. And Earth, of course, is the pentacle, showing that we can manifest. So that's something that's tangible. That's something that we've made happen. That's something that materializes. And if you think of it in that way, that the pentacles needs something of patience for us to actually practically ground ourselves and manifest something. We manifest it by what we do. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding sometimes as to what pentacles means. Yes, it can mean money, but it also means manifesting things. And it doesn't mean manifesting in the modern buzzword of things. It's much more to do with manifestation of, you know, I manifested a cup of tea, not because it dropped down from the sky, but because I thought about it, felt like, you know, my thinking was clear, you know, I thought that was a good idea. And then how did I feel? Yes, I desired it. And by desiring it, I took action. That action then led to me filling the kettle with water and then going about making a cup of tea till finally I do have a cup of tea. But it's manifested because of that chain of events. And that's really what the magician's got on the table. Now, you know, it's also number one, which I'd like you to actually take note of. And it's a little bit sort of like the two other major arcana cards. And one of them is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is the number 10. And if we add 1 and 0, of course it makes 1. And so the Wheel of Fortune is also, you know, good fortune, opportunity, good things happening, being able to be in a place where you can actualize things because you make them happen. Okay, so another thing I would actually suggest to you is the other major arcana card, of course, is the Sun card, and that's numbered 19. And so 1 plus 9 makes 10. And then if we go and bring it down to one number, well, we go 1 plus 0 makes 1. So again, it's like the Sun card again. And the Sun card is very much about our personal desires, our personal development, the things that we personally want in our life, things that are dear to us. Not like the World card. The World card is much more about where we achieve and what we want in our life. You know, I want to be a lawyer. I want to actually be successful. I want to, you know, go on and have all these things that I achieve in life, in my path, my purpose. Where the Sun card is much more to do with our personal ambitions. You know, I would like a family. I would like to be happy. I would like to be stimulated. I would like to study. You know, it's important to me. It's not about the actual sort of end goal. It's much more about the personal wishes and fulfillment. So do keep that in mind, that those cards are sort of connected here with the number 1 and with the magician. Okay, so one of the other things I would talk about here is the fact that he is in transformation, okay? And those colours, as in that we can actually see in the flowers, are also a little bit like the colours that we talked about, from the red of his cloak and the white of his tunic. Again, it's to do with passion, and it's also to do with purity. And that infinity symbol is just a symbol of protection, but also it's about what goes around comes around. Now, Pure white lilies again, representing purity. If we are to look at our magician and say, what's it all about? Well, because of the astrological association with Mercury, we've got to look at the fact that there is power in everything, power in communication, okay? And the fact that we are being shown that crystals are very powerful. And by the way, my dear people, I have a crystal wand, well, one or two of those. Okay, here's the other one. I've got lots and lots, okay? Just remember that crystals, such as these clear quartz terminated crystals, will always just balance you back, okay? They are not going to do magical things other than just bring you back to yourself. So, if you are somebody, sorry about that, if you are someone that has a happy disposition and you've been feeling a bit sort of not yourself recently, it will help balance you back. If you feel that you have a need to decompress from people because you've been overloaded by people, please use a crystal and just hold it. It will bring you back to yourself. What it can't do is bring you into a place that you want to be, that you are not naturally in, or you haven't arrived at just yet. So crystals and his crystal wand, really, really important. If you are looking to actually kind of rid yourself from something because you've collected too much energy, just use a stone, okay? Normal stone, you'll always hear me talking about picking up pebbles or something from the earth. And if you haven't got that, put your fingers into the earth and make sure that you connect into the earth so that you feel grounded. When you are grounded, all of those wonderful elements that I have talked to you about can come together and you can make them happen in a beautiful way. The purity and the responsibility is up to you. And, this wonderful direction of being able to kind of access the divine and being able to be inspired by the source. Just remember that we are that conduit, or the conduit as I have always pronounced it. I was corrected by Zoo recently. That we are able to actually just harness all of that, but it's coming from the universe and we are just receiving that energy, yeah? So there's no need for us to kind of fall into our ego, which is where problems start, which is maybe why he's called the magician, because you can have smokes and mirrors, you can actually trick people, you can actually manipulate, you can be in a position of, it depends what cards you've got with the rest of your spread, of course. And I do have some really exciting news for you all. Stay tuned, and I'll be announcing that at the end, okay? So if anyone's got any questions, please, number one, say hello. Agus said hi to us. Anthony said hi to us. Feel free. If you are quite comfortable to sort of just sit and watch, that's also fine. Hopefully we'll have Zoe coming in rather soon, in the next 5 minutes, I guess. And she can also maybe put some questions about the magician to us. But yes, it's a very positive card, but it would depend on where it is in the spread, okay? And I'm not talking the traditional past, present, future. I'm talking the self. I'm talking the spiritual advice. I'm talking influences of others. I'm talking the houses, which would talk about our finance, our self, our communication, our home life, our hobbies, our friendship circles, our politics, working, our status and reputation, and so on. And that is all in the way that I actually read my tarot. And I've done it for years. I don't use any other spread because it brings it to life when you know that you are putting a card into a certain position and you are able to know exactly what you're being told. So let's say the magician turned up in the self. It means it's you. Let's say the magician turned up in the influence of others. It means that there's someone around you that's going to be able to help you. Let's say it turns up in the position of what's crossing you. Now you've got trouble. You know that, hang on a minute, I've got all this. Why am I not utilising it? So maybe you're not getting up and making your cup of tea happen, or maybe you didn't think or feel, you just acted, or maybe there's something going on that's actually causing you to do things that are going against the natural sort of cycle or what's been presented to you. You know, no, I don't want that. I want to do it this way sort of attitude. We'll do it. You know, I don't want it this way. I want it that way. And that's fine. But sometimes if we're getting that message in the tower, it might be on this occasion, that may not be doing you the service of getting what you want. Okay, so the spread is vital, because there's no good just going, oh, what does this mean? And, you know, we all have done it. You know, what does this mean? It means, where is it? Who, what, where, when, how. And yes, in the spread that I teach in my courses, which you can actually have access to by going onto my website, www.tarotwithanne-marie.com. Okay, and here I'm here to give you support. The people that have actually gone on to buy my courses, followed me on YouTube last year. I took a break for a while for many, many reasons, and I'm back. We've got a new look, and now I'm able to give that support to those that have bought the courses, and the courses have helped them go on and actually be professionals. You know, today I was very lucky, as in, to speak to Fiona. And Fiona is someone who did my course, oh gosh, about 5-6 years ago. And I also spoke to Jess. Jess had a reading with me today, and Jess is one of my former students. And she's gone on, and her readings, as in, sometimes she works for, shall we say, psychic platforms or tarot platforms, but mostly she does her own sort of clients from this beautiful gypsy caravan that she's put together from home. So there's all that, you see. And Fiona has been reading professionally now, and it's her main source of income. So I do want you to know that it can actually open up lots and lots of doors for you. I don't know if you heard that little ringing, but here comes Zoe. Okay, so let's answer Zoe. And while I'm answering Zoe, she's in the green room right now, I'm going to move us onto the next scene so we've got room for me, Zoe, and the magician. Okay, so I'll see you in a moment. It's a bit slow. Okay. So here's the lovely Zoe. Hi, Zoe. I'm unmuting you. How are you? How are you? Hi, everybody. This is Zoe. Zoe, tell us. You know, I know, but there's a lot of new people watching tonight. So, Zoe, tell us. Number one, where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
There we go, lovely Sweden. Hi. Hey, Margaret, how are you? Margaret's saying hi. Let's add this to the broadcast. Hello, Margaret. Margaret's one of my beautiful customers, okay? Sorry, Margaret, I've got the spinning ball going on. It's probably because there's too much going on the screen. Okay, all right, I'm going to say thank you very much for that lovely comment. I'm going to have to work on these comments. Okay, so Zoe is from Sweden. And Zoe, tell us what sort of stage you're at with your actual sort of learning.
I think I'm a beginner. I've been done this a little while with you, but I'm not a professional like you.
No. Look, I'm still learning. every day. And believe me, that's true. That's not just a modest comment. And true, because it's the people I meet, it's the people that ask questions, and sometimes we don't have the answers. And I have to go off and find out the answer, don't I? And that's called research. Lovely AI. You know, that's something, gosh, I've just thought of something today when I was sort of thinking about the show tonight, what we would actually be talking about. You know, the magician, it's always really helpful if we are able to identify the card that we are starting to learn, or we want to know more about, or we want to know how to read it, you know, all these things, with someone or something that's happened to us. And today I was thinking about that, and Elon Musk came into my head, you know, because he's been really amazing, you know. And then I thought, well, one of my favourites, I mean, each to their own, but I think that Apple are geniuses, and the magician is a card of being a genius, and they're all about communication. And I remember them back when they did their, gosh, I think it was called the iPod Shuffle, I think. Yeah, that's probably where I first kind of got my taste for Apple. But it's about being able to go, right, what's clever, what's genius, what changed things. And today I thought, crikey, AI. We didn't have that a while back. I know it's been coming for a long, long time. So if ever you get stuck, think about AI, or think about something that happened to you when you were given all the tools of the table, as it were, and you were in a position to be able to go, right, I think I've got this. I really think I've got this. And I think I'm going to get what I want. Yeah. Okay. So how am I going to actually fuse this all together? And if we are overthinking, then that can get us into trouble. If, like I do, I overthink for the show all the time. And then today I just went, do you know what? I'm going to go and get my overhead light in the studio fixed because it's new and it just stopped working. So it's not right. I'm going to do that. And Tony offered to do it for me. And I said, no, I need to go and chill out. So off I went. No communication with anybody. Went for a lovely massage with my ex-student from Tarot, Fiona, who works on the platform of the company that I set up for tarot readers back in 2007. And so, I was thinking about the magician and I was listening to some beautiful music. So I was decompressing. So, you know, sometimes being a genius is to allow your thoughts to roll. And sometimes when we are being manipulative, it's because we are overloading our thoughts or over talking to ourselves or others, you know. So, you know, the magician, and people go, gosh, what does it mean? Well, I think we've all been here. Hands up those that's always wanted at some point to lose weight. Yeah? Yeah? So let's say we go, gosh, I want to lose some weight. Let's look at the cards. And by the way, I'll be doing a special Christmas or New Year video about each of the signs and how to lose weight. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. I will get around to making that one. That was a very popular video that I did 2 or 3 years ago here on YouTube. You can always go and have a look at it. And that was Pick a Pile. Now, yeah, this would be the card that you're looking for. Why? Willpower. Is your head in the right place to actually, am I in the right mindset to lose weight? Is my heart in it? Or am I actually feeling so upset that I think I'm going to overeat because I'm swallowing my words, because that's my communication, and round and round and round. I want to have an argument with my pal, but I don't want it to be toxic, and I do want to keep the friendship, but it's nagging away at me. And, you know, can you see this is where we're talking about the sword, the thinking, the emotion, and the impact that that can have is we could be our own saboteur. So it can be a very positive card, but it can be a negative card if it's going against us, if it's crossing us. And if it's crossing us, it can be in a position where we go, actually, let's look at that. And in my spread, the crossing, the obstacle that we get, and any advice on that is always connected with our emotions, and it's always connected with the influences of other people, maybe how they've hurt us, what they've said, what they've done, what they've not done. And that's all revealed in the spread that I teach. It's a complete, unique way. And the exciting news that I've got, folks, is, I told you to stick with us till the end. I'm going to reveal it now. We are going live twice a week from now on. Okay, so slight change of, if I'm going to go twice a week, it's going to be Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesdays is going to be how to combine cards. And Thursday, we're sticking with one card as we go through our journey, one card a week like this, where we get a chance to talk about it. So, Zoe, I haven't mentioned tonight about the colour yellow in the background. I'm going to ask you, and now there's no right or wrong answer, okay, unless you say I don't know, and that's wrong. You're not allowed to do that. You can say anything you want, as long as you actually have a thought or a feeling, or even a question about the yellow. What do you think the yellow might be sort of symbolic of in our lovely magician? Okay. What does it make you think of? When you see yellow, what does it remind you of? What's yellow? What's the first thing that pops into your head?
When I say yellow, I think of joy and loyal. When someone is loyal.
You think of, sorry, Zoe?
Joy, happiness.
Ah, lovely. So, absolute joy, happiness, cheerfulness. Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's also a sunny disposition that's kind of sort of represented there. Also looking at how straight he is, you know, and how his pose is, you know, really sort of commanding. He could be a little bit formidable, or he could be someone that we'd actually go, gosh, he's a showman, you know, I'm eating out of his hand, you know. And so, magician, some people go, I don't trust him at all. But who is this? And it depends when you start to put your cards together. And I know that everybody wants to go galloping along and saying, okay, you know, I'm beginning, and what's this mean and what's this mean? The more cards you put out, the more the story will actually connect. And on Tuesday, we are going to be doing combinations. So what we're going to do on Tuesday is we're going to go to the magician, because we've given you what this is about, and then we can combine it with lots of different cards in the other 56 minor arcana. Okay, so I'm not going to put another major there. I never do. And the way I read is always in pairs. So, you know, this is the first reveal of my little sort of how you, if you use this method, when you combine two cards, always, I combine two cards. I never just look at the magician on his own. I do, but I'm straight away going, okay, what's the other card telling me? Is it a thought? Is it an emotion? Is it an action? Or is it something manifested? And is it a problem? And what's the outcome to be? Okay, so I wonder if you think, you know, you see the flowers in that picture? Yeah, they're rather beautiful, aren't they? Okay, and that's symbolic of growth, manifestation, and that we can make things happen. Okay, Some people will also look at it as in that connection with the divine from heaven and earth, where something good will come, and it will. It'll be successful, even if it's a mistake, because great things happen from our mistakes, because only if we learn from them. And sometimes we're not ready. Sometimes we've got to keep taking that same step over and over and over again. So again, let's just go back to me talking about if you wanted to lose weight and you just got the magician. Well, you've got all the tools on the table, but I would say if we look at the second card, and on Tuesdays, folks, please join us for combining the cards together, where you are able to learn immediately within 30 seconds, and I mean that, how you can read for yourself by applying another card. And the difference is that you will know whether this is your thinking that is actually affecting things, good or bad, whether it's your emotions that's influencing, again, good or bad, whether you're struggling. So please, please, please join us on Tuesdays for the combination of cards, because I have always done this, always, 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 okay? And it's really, really something that will help you. Okay, so Zoe, my lovely, how have you been getting on this week with tarot?
It's been good. I actually deleted the mail you sent to me, but I've been looking at it over it and saved it to fine.
Oh, bless you, bless you. And is there anything that you want to ask, that you're struggling and you think, oh, you know, and I know it doesn't have to be about the magician, but, you know, it could be a general question. And likewise, everybody, if you would like to, you know, ask a question, feel free. And if you would like to also join us, you know, what would be wonderful, folks, is for two students of any level, and you know, that could be someone that's been doing this for 30 years like me, or more than 30 years, whatever, to actually turn around and go, right, okay, you know what, I'm going to look at this differently. We're all learning all the time. That's what I mean. You would really think that, you know, when you do something and over and over and over, you are not going to discover anything new, but you are. And that's why I'm on forums. I said, I don't mean I'm leading them, I'm actually reading them. And the books, wonderful, wonderful books, my journals. And do keep a journal. You know, I didn't realise I was keeping a journal. Do you keep a journal? I used to make notes, that's what I mean. You know, and I didn't call it a journal, it was my tarot notebook. I still have it to this day. It's all right. The pages are yellow, but yeah. Do you keep a journal?
Actually, never had one because I have dyslexia, so it's hard to me to write.
Yeah. Well, just a notebook, you know, but if you want it to be special, you've got to make sure that it's actually something you can go back to. So when I actually started doing anything with tarot, which is, you know, it started with my idea of being able to offer people readings with the combination cards that I use, my pairs. And I started writing those ideas down while I was in Dubai. And it was like, okay, right, what can I do with this? I'm collating all this information. It's too hot to go outside. So yeah, that's a magician moment. Again, that thought, and what do I want to do with it? I want to share it with other people. I think it's a wonderful method. And, you know, then it went into an action and it became a piece of software. And that piece of software went on then to be a game, and then it became a telephone. You know, that's the magician. That was my magician moment. And different doors opening. Okay. But also it was a case of I didn't want to be the magician that was kind of pulling rabbits out of hats and conning people. it really, you know, is that. But let's say again that the magician comes up and somebody said, I want to be a tarot reader and I've got this card. On its own, it's telling you you've got the potential. I would stay tuned And let's see if somebody asks that question on Tuesday. And if you can join us on Tuesday, great, Zoe. You've got a life to live. I know it's kind of different sort of time zones for people around the world. So if you're here, you're here. If it's not, don't worry, we'll fill it. But if anyone would like to join and actually be a tarot buddy with me and Zoe, that's great. And, we're all learning. You could teach us something. We can learn from you, whatever. But asking questions is where it's at. And, there's always going to be something. So any questions on the magician? Anybody? Has anybody got any questions that they would like to know something perhaps I haven't covered? All very quiet. I take it you're enjoying this because you're all staying put, which is lovely. Look at this. Right. You've got a fan. Hold on one second. I seem to be having, there we go. There's somebody saying, bestest, Zoe, from Geeka 666. I know that you know who that might be. Is it? Isn't she? Thank you very much, Geeka 666. There you go. There you go. She's a star, isn't she? Absolute star. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm ever so sorry about trying to bring on the comments. For some reason, whenever I do, I get this spinning ball and I can't move it. And also I want to try and, I'm going to have to try and change the colouring as I try and drag it onto the screen because we've got a dark background and the writing's dark. Sorry, folks. Okay, so absolutely wonderful, isn't that? Has anybody got any questions about the magician? No? Okay. Zoe, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. Unless you can think of one for me. Yeah? Have you pulled the magician card and kind of gone, what's that?
I think so.
Yeah. Because it's one of those, isn't it, where you look at it and you go, magician? What? Yeah. It just means you've got everything. Think of pies. Yeah, think of pies. Physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. And that's those four elements. And if you are in balance and in harmony with the elements, which the sword represents air, I can hear my door being bashed. I'm sorry, everybody. That's a dog kind of trying to get in. Not allowed. I can hear yours scurrying around, but you've got one. I've got 11 rescue dogs. Okay, so the sword is actually about the connection of the element of air, which is our thinking. And the cups is our emotions and very much about how we respond to things. Fire is the wand, and that's our action. And then the earthiness is what's tangible, what we've made happen. So again, in this card, you've been shown that flowers can indeed also grow. Okay, so those elements are all there. Right, I normally bring on the table, but I'm just going to show you this card. This is the Magician card. I love this deck. This is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. Okay, and there you can see they're growing flowers. So that's a very modern deck showing magical things can happen when you make things grow. But again, you see what I'm saying about, you see him digging, he's having to act, and that will make the flowers grow or the crops come or whatever it is. But, you don't just find yourself suddenly digging a garden. You think about it first. So magician is usually an answer to something that we're looking at. But people say, oh, it's a yes then. Yes, I suppose it is. But in its negative state, it could actually be that you're working against yourself. Like I said, am I in the right mindset? The amount of calls I get about am I in the right frame of mind? Am I following the right path at X, Y, and Z? I could go, oh, I think so, or I feel this card, and then where's that coming from? With the method, as in the combination that we're going to be doing on Tuesdays, everybody, which is our very big treat for you. So you're going to get a single card, and it's educational points like this, and then you're going to get the combination of how to use the card we've just discussed, whichever it is, and in this case it's the Magician, and we're going to be combining it with one of the 56 minor arcana, and we're going to see whether it really is a yes or no, and at what stage we are at by using that minor card, and how it's influencing things, or what stage in our journey we're at, or where it's crossing, or where it's asking us to do more, or to turn around and do nothing. Sometimes is the case. So, Zoe, anything you want to sort of talk about, or ask, or comment on?
Not really.
No?
Okay. I can think of.
Okay, right. And anybody that's been watching tonight, thank you so much for your lovely company. I do hope that you will come and join us, and do that by subscribing to my YouTube channel. And I do stream I'm multi-stream, so sometimes people think there's not many people watching. There is indeed, but it's multi-streaming into a couple of YouTube channels and a couple of Facebook groups as well. We're not able to go into Instagram or TikTok or anything like that on this platform. I'm sure we'll all get there one day. But for now, I would actually say, please follow me on YouTube, okay? And if you subscribe and you actually press the bell, you will be alerted when I come on with shorts or when we're doing a live. The whole point here is I would really welcome people coming in and having a chat, just like Zoe is, okay? And maybe turning around and reading for each other. That's what I'm here for. When I was actually training way back, we used to work in pairs. And so it was me and whoever was in my class, there was 10 of us. And then we had a member of the public come in, and they'd book a reading with us as students. So the member of the public got a free reading with 2 students, I, myself, and whoever it was, I remember Claire. And what would happen then is we would shuffle the cards, the client would ask a question, and we would try and struggle together. What do you think this means? I'm not sure. The teacher was circling around the 5 pairs of students and the 5 members of the public going, you've missed something. What's this? Why didn't you say that? Da, 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 da. So helpful. I won't be doing that. But, and she was very formidable, but it was so good for all of us because we were able to help each other. We were able to actually have that guidance. I know what it's like, as in before I did that course, to sit there and wonder, what if somebody asked me this? What am I going to say? Well, with the method that I learned, our guest has disappeared for a moment. There she is. No problem, no problem. Zoe, if ever there's a problem, look at this. Look at this. Hold on one second. Look what I've done for you. Huh? You like it? So if you need to disappear, we don't look like we've got an empty window. We're full of surprises on here. Okay, time for us to go. Okay, please, please, please do subscribe to the channel and do let me know in your comments what you'd like to see. For now, we are doing the major arcana cards, and then we'll be moving on to the minor, 1 per week, just 1. But we'll be discussing things, any problems you have, anything you want to ask, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I'm trying to recreate that learning experience that I've been teaching one-to-one with people here on YouTube. If we can, we will do it. But we can only do that with your help and support. Zoe, thank you so much for joining us tonight yet again. Do say hello. And is it Gika 666? Thank you so much. Hi, Margaret. And I'll try and work on the writing for you. So next week, folks, it is Tuesday for Combination Tarot. That's 2 cards together, working with pairs. And Thursdays, not Friday, sticking with our 5 o'clock UK time, where we'll be doing 1 card at a time. Okay, so next week we'll be doing the Magician and some of the minor arcana. Okay, thank you so much for watching us. Please subscribe, please share. And, if you feel that this video could help somebody you know while they are actually trying to figure out their path in tarot, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. That is why we do this. Okay? For now, I'm going to play you out with this. Bye.